Ariel Helwani in Las Vegas gearing up for UFC 183 alongside the MMA Hour's #1 celebrity fan, Ragin' Al Iaquinta, who of course faces Joe Lauzon this Saturday live on pay-per-view. Is that true? #1 fan. You were watching the show on the way to Las Vegas.
I was. I was bored on the plane, and I'm upset that I got halfway through the flight, and then I remembered that the show was on. But I caught the end of the show, and it got me through the last hour of the flight for sure.
How was the connection? Because sometimes I hear the connection isn't great. I mean, you're doing Wi-Fi on the plane. Pretty impressive.
It was pretty good. I was surprised too. I bought an hour worth of time and got on there, and I was like, this is never gonna work. Clicked on it, paused maybe once or twice, and then nice stream the whole time. It was good.
Unbelievable. Well, I thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. And you beat the storm. Did you have to leave early to get here?
Yeah, I was supposed to leave at 4 o'clock on Monday, and then I called up the travel department. I was like, listen, this storm's coming in pretty fast. They say, I think we should try to move this up, and I moved it up to like 10:30, and I think I just made it out because it started snowing, and we had to de-ice the plane once, and it was getting a little hairy there for a second, and we didn't know what was going to happen.
You know, of course, you're coming off that big win over Ross Pearson, biggest of your career. If you didn't have that fight on that stage, co-main event of a big fight card in Australia, do you think you'd be maybe a little more nervous going into this fight? Because this is a big deal, and you've never been on this kind of stage here in the States on pay-per-view. But I'm wondering if that prepared you for this in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely prepared me for this. I think this is something that...
Anderson Silva.
There he is. Anderson.
Speaking of a big stage, right?
There we go. That's where you want. That's where I want to be. I want to be when I walk in. I want them cheering for me, and that's what I want to be doing. So, going over to Australia, fighting in a big time crowd like that, I wasn't really nervous. I was more excited and anxious to get in there, and fighting in front of nobody's never fun. It's there's no motivation. I mean, you're obviously motivated to win, but having the crowd behind you is really awesome, and I fed off that for sure. And I think that's the same thing I'm going to be doing here.
And you were pretty vocal about not getting a bonus after the fact. Did they slip you something under the table?
They did. They did a little something. So it was
happy now.
Nice. Yeah, no, I'm happy.
They made it right for you.
I mean, I think I still should have got the 50G performance of the night. I think. You knock out Ross Pearson, the co-main event, but it is what it is, I'm not. I had a couple drinks. I complained on Twitter. I got it off my chest, and now we move on and we'll do it again this time. And
speaking of bonuses, I mean, you're fighting the bonus king, but I find what you've been saying, and also your coach Ray Longo has been saying, to be very interesting. You don't want the Fight of the Night award because that would then mean that you're getting into a slugfest, and you don't want a slugfest. You don't want to get hit. And I find it almost refreshing to hear people say that, because it's sometimes weird when you hear fighters say, I want the Fight of the Night. They want to be in a slugfest.
Yeah, I think it's real weird when they shake hands and they go, let's get Fight of the Night. It's not. It's never what I'm in there to do. I'm in there to flawlessly dominate and good head movement, good defense, as well as bringing the offense. I think two guys bringing offense, they're going to leave there with a lot of brain damage, and they're going to get beat up, and I don't know if that's conducive to a long, healthy career. So I'm definitely going in there with everything that I've trained to do, which includes great defense, and that's the goal.
You've looked very good in your last 2 fights. You're back at the scene of your last loss.
Scene of the crime right here. Yeah.
How does it feel to be back? You lost to Mitch Clarke here. That was a pretty big upset. I remember seeing you afterwards. You were devastated. What's it like being back here? Are you thinking about that a lot?
No, not really. I think I thought about it when I got there. I was like, oh, MGM, here we go again. But no, it's it's just a cage. A cage could be anywhere. I got caught. I made a bad mistake, and we'll move on. We moved on. It's unfortunate, but I learned from it. I learned a lot from it. And
what's the biggest thing you learned?
I should have killed that guy in the first round. I think, I should have been a little more composed. I kind of got into positions. I forced positions that I'm not usually in, and I think that's a position that he was confident in. So definitely just keeping my game, keeping my composure, going in there. If I get a guy hurt, keeping the right distance to get the finish.
And I would imagine that applies greatly to someone like Joe Lauzon, right? Because some people want to, test themselves on the ground against this guy, get into a Fight of the Night. You don't want to do that. I
mean, I'll welcome if it comes, but the plan. That's not the plan. The plan is to win like the last 2 fights. I've hurt everybody in pretty much every fight I've been in so far in the UFC. So I'm just trying to, get them on their toes and then keep the right distance to get the finish.
In other words, you want to make him humble.
As the Sheik says, make him humble, break his back.
Yes.
I don't want to break his back.
Why
I
not?
want to make him humble.
Camel clutch.
Camel clutch, break the back. Everybody in the UFC, not just Joe Lauzon.
I love that's coming out. You're a lot more vocal on Twitter these days. You're putting down CM Punk here. You're talking like the Sheik. I like this.
I hear you didn't like that too much.
No, I had no problems with it.
You gotta understand something, man. The first fight I saw was UFC 53, and I saw, among other guys, I saw Rich Franklin throw one combination, and it stuck out in my mind like, holy shit, this is what fighting is all about, you know? And some kid is gonna watch CM Punk, and I think he's gonna think that that's what fighting is all about, and I'm not a big fan of that. I'm more of a purist of the sport, and I think, there's other ways to get people to watch than to bring in a guy with a lot of followers. There's a lot of people with followers, but I do respect him. It's not him that I'm not putting him down. I have respect for anybody that wants to do this and get in the cage and mix it up, because there's a lot of guys that don't have the they would dream of doing it but never could. So I give him respect for that. But I think fighting your first fight in the UFC is a little it doesn't sit right with me. And it is what it is, and hopefully he'll learn a lot. I hear he's training hard, so it's unfortunately I'm excited to see it. So it's kind of going against what I'm saying, but it is what it is.
It's a spectacle, and everyone wants to watch a spectacle.
Kind of a spectacle, and people do want to watch it. But if Justin Bieber fought in the UFC, people would want to watch that too. And I don't know if that's it's not going to keep the UFC. It's just not the look that I like for the UFC, but it's not my company. So
you already know what you want to say on the mic after this win?
I didn't know I wanted to say that about I forget when I was like, we were talking about I'm just gonna talk like the Sheik from now on. Fuck this. Everyone's talking, everyone's getting big fights. I'm just gonna talk like the Sheik and start shit with everybody. And then I was cutting weight, and I watched the Iron Sheik for the last like 2 minutes of my weight cut. I was like, all right, this video is 2 minutes long. I'm just gonna sit in the sauna until it's over, and then I'm gonna be done. So I watched the video, and he was cursing everybody, and I was going delirious. I'm gonna fucking suplex kangaroos, and they were talking about sharks in the water. I'm gonna camel clutch them, and then he asked me what I'm gonna do next, and I just kind of came out. So it was funny, and I'm glad people liked it. And I think Ray had a heart attack because he had no idea where I was going with that. So I saw the video of the interview, and when I started talking about camel clutch, he's like, where is this going? This is going to be brutal. But it was good. It was funny. So I was glad. And the Sheik tweeted me and everything. It was great, man. It was good. I'm a big fan of the Sheik.
Well, it's great to see you evolve as a fighter and on the mic as well. I'm looking forward to this fight. Battle of New York versus Boston. How about that? That's a big deal. Best of luck to you, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.